you one thing, if a little green man pops out of me, I'm shooting first and asking questions later.
You are on the verge of destroying the entire universe.
Welcome to the Strange Podcast with Sam and Logan.
If you enjoy the show, please go to iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, or wherever you're listening, and please give us a good rating. If you want to share a story or have ideas for a future episode, you're welcome to visit us at www.thestrangepodcast.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
Welcome to The Strange Podcast. This is episode 30, and I'm Logan Marks.
And I'm Sam Baxter. Today is March 10th, 2018.
Oh, man, I'm excited. I am excited. I got some good news today.
Good news? Let's hear some good news. I like good news.
I got some good news today.
What is it?
Rick and Morty signed up for, I think it's 70 episodes?
70 episodes? That's pretty good. Is it still going to come out every 2 years?
I don't know.
Man, those guys got to get on the ball, man.
I don't care. I just want them to make another season.
No, I get that.
Soon, yeah.
I do too. I just want more. I just want them to be every year. The cartoons, damn it. The fuck, they should be taking, every 2 years.
I wish they were more consistent, though, but yeah.
I know. Well, I'm thankful. Don't get me wrong. I'm thankful. I just feel like, Game of Thrones is really, really expensive, and it's really, really a lot of sets they have to build, and that one's gonna take 2 years. I don't know why Rick and Morty's the same. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Compared to South Park, man, those guys are pumping them out like weekly.
Dude, I think they pump one out like every day.
Yeah, basically, yeah. But man, that's what gets me. Don't get me wrong. I love Rick and Morty. I want more. I just want more. Just give me every year. That's all I ask. just be like every other normal show, and do every fucking year. Okay. I'm not being too fucking anal or too demanding, I don't think.
Now that they got their own contract set up, I think
good.
A lot of it because they're it's not popular now. They want to get more money, so
it's good. Well, now they got the contract signed, so maybe part of the stipulation that I honestly don't know, but maybe it was they said, hey, do this every year. Here's a fucking suitcase full of money. Do it every year.
And I was hoping that that Adult Swim wouldn't do it, and they would go to Netflix.
Oh, so then it would be every year.
I don't know. It would be every year, but at least I could watch it as soon as they because then you could just binge them and not have to wait.
Got it. Yeah, it all comes out at once.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be pretty good. One thing that we forgot to bring up last week, and it kind of sucks, is Ash vs. the Evil Dead got canceled.
Oh yeah, I forgot to talk about that.
I know we forgot about that.
I think it was too sad because I didn't want it to really be a thing.
Yeah,
didn't
want it to be true. If we don't talk about it, it didn't happen, right? Yeah, that's unfortunate though, man. That's a good show.
So are they making one more season, or is it done?
I think it's done, man. I think it got canceled.
Oh,
I know those jerks at Stars. Yeah, they canceled it. I could be wrong, but I think it got canceled. What I read is it got canceled. So it didn't sound like they were gonna finish the season. It seems like it got canceled.
Because I thought he kind of retired from it.
I think he did after they canceled it. Maybe it left a sour taste in his mouth. Like he's like, "Fuck this,"
Well, see, he's been playing that role for a long ass time.
Well, he's been known for that, especially, right? And he's been since the early '80s.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Bruce Campbell's been funny. He's been in a lot of good shit. He's been in a lot of, B movies as well, and he knows it too. And he also makes fun of that. That's part of his shtick, right? He just knows that what he is, and he's not trying to be some A-lister.
He never took himself really seriously.
No. But that's what made him good.
Yeah, that's why I liked him a lot because he never took it seriously. He's just kind of he had a good time with it. He
did, and remember the first two movies were pretty scary, right? They were pretty intense, and the third one was just more like, fuck this, let's just have fun.
Yeah, we're gonna make a good movie.
Yeah, let's just have fun. And
they were all good, but I think 3 was my favorite.
It was really good. 3 was Army of Darkness was pretty good. The sad thing is sometimes people I tell them about it, they've never seen it, so then they watch it now, they're like, yeah, this looks too stupid. It's like, all right. It's not all CGI. This was made.
It was at a time where
well, they had to have real props. Everything was. There was a little bit of CGI in it. Remember some of the skeletons, but it was for the most part it was props, and they had to do what they had to do with, and fuck it, man, it was good.
Oh yeah. Was there anything else that's coming out this?
So I saw a new trailer today for the new Predators movie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Predators movie coming out September 14th, 2018 is what I was told.
I don't know. Like the first Predator was fucking awesome. You got
Fuck yeah.
Schwarzenegger.
Best,
you got all
man.
You got all the. All, it was like the manliest
all those commandos, remember?
Yeah, it was like the
them? They were
manliest
all
movie I've ever
badass.
seen.
Like not one of them was weak, right? Even the guy with that told all those big pussy jokes, remember? Jeez, you got a big pussy. Jeez, you got a big pussy. Remember that?
Why'd you say it twice?
Yeah, I didn't because of the big. Remember, he's just like trying to explain it to Billy. I mean, even him, he was like real nerdy, but he was still a good killer. Remember?
I know everybody was amazing. That was a great movie.
It was fantastic, man. I mean, you had Carl Weathers as the shitty, he got them put into that situation. Remember Apollo Creed?
Yeah,
Apollo fucked him up and got him in that spot.
I just remember the handshake at the beginning.
Oh God, who could forget that, man? Remember that? Their arms are super huge.
Their arms are all big. I remember being a kid, like, oh man,
those motherfuckers are huge.
Yeah. This movie's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, turn it off. I already know it's good. I'm not gonna watch anymore. This fucking shit's badass. No, that movie was good. I mean, and then you went to part 2 with fucking Danny Glover. That irked me, man. I didn't like how I don't know how Danny fucking hunted down the Predator. I think the Predator would have fucked him up pretty bad.
I don't even remember most of it. I just remember it was in the city, and there.
It was in the future of 1997, and it was like drug wars between like the Colombians and the Jamaicans, the cartels, and the Predator was there, and he was just wiping both of them out, and it wasn't. I don't know. And Danny Glover was a cop, and it just wasn't that good. And
they just kept getting worse. Like after a while, I stopped watching them.
Hold on, I gotta say though that was a precursor. That's what also led to the Alien vs Predator series. You know that?
Yeah. I never liked any of them.
The Alien? No. But you know what I'm saying? Like it led them, becoming enemies because when Danny Glover was in the ship at the end, and he was looking around before he got attacked, before the final battle, and there was like some skeletons that were in there that were like alien skeletons, and one of them was the alien head. There was other type of creature beasts that were in there as well, but the alien head was in there, and that's what got the people from Aliens kind of ticked off. Like, what the fuck? You're putting in our creature in there?
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, and so that's what led to like all the talk, and then. Like,
did they start making the
like which who would win, right? Then it became kind of a debate, and that's what ended up making those movies. Yeah, I'm not saying those movies are great, but I'm just saying that's what led to that movie. So
then they had the Predators movie. That was the only one.
Yeah, the one that came out
that was actually pretty decent.
Yeah, that wasn't too bad. Where the humans were like
They got sent to like a different planet.
Yeah, they were all snatched and taken to that planet and to survive. Remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't too bad.
Yeah, I kind of brought it back to its roots, where all these badasses were all having to fight.
Yeah, that's right. They were all like, I think they were all supposed to be killers too, right? They were all kind of fucking psycho or something.
Yeah, they all had something to them.
Yeah, and they had to learn to survive, right? That wasn't too bad. I should watch that one again. But yeah, so again, they're making a new one. It's supposed to come out like in September. So I'm a fan of the Predator. I've always been a fan of the Predator. I like the story of them. I mean, not that there's much of them, but I want to know more if there's more of a story. I want to know how it. They seem like they're a really advanced race, but it seems like they don't talk. So
I know
how the fuck do they do? I'm curious. I'm curious about this. But what I see in IMDb, it says when a young boy accidentally triggers the universe's most lethal hunters to return to Earth, only a raging crew of ex-soldiers and his disgruntled science teacher can prevent the end of the human race. So that's the synopsis for the new movie of Predator. The Predator is what it's called.
I'll probably go check it out.
Yeah,
We'll see.
Why not?
See how
has Olivia Munn in it.
Yeah, I'll probably check it out.
I'm in. 2 tickets for me, please. So the Predator is coming out. Yeah, man. I hope it's cool. I hope it's good. I'll probably watch, no matter how shitty they are, I'll probably watch every Predator movie. I don't know. That's just my 2 cents. I don't think it was...
Well, yeah. I really didn't like the last 2 Alien movies. And
Nope.
And the only one I really liked was, like I said, The Predators.
Yeah, that wasn't too bad.
I haven't seen really anything that great come out of it, but yeah, I'll go watch it. Just check it out.
Well, at least watch the trailer and see what you think.
I'll check out the trailer.
Yeah, check out the trailer.
All right, so we should probably get into the strange news.
All right.
So when we come back for the break, we'll have some funny stories to tell about crazy people in the world.
It's time for strange news.
And we're back.
All right.
So what do you got?
So first story I got, this is kind of a little bit odd and weird. I'm not really a person who knows a lot about animals, but neither are these other people in the story. So a rescuer is bitten after mistaking bobcats for domestic kittens. So these people, I think they were trying to rescue these little cats they found in the alleyway in San Antonio, and they brought them home and they gave them food but the cats started like shredding up all the toys and everything they were giving them, like feeding bottles and everything they gave them. They were just shredding them up, and then they got bitten by them. They're like, "Wait a minute, something's wrong here." So they called the animal control officers and wildlife rescue group, and they came in like, no, these aren't fucking cats, assholes.
That's a lion.
Yeah, these people thought they were like just Bengal kittens, but
were they big? Were they kittens?
No, they were smaller, right? They were like babies.
Oh,
I
okay.
mean, not like baby where they were like born like in a week, but I mean they were small, but they were
so
still
they kind of look
aggressive.
like a full. They kind of look like a full-grown cat, but they were.
Yeah, I guess. So these fucking people, just like me, didn't know shit about the animal. And
What? I don't know why people like bring home crazy shit all the time.
I don't.
Like, do you remember Do you remember like a couple years ago, that lady got like her face eaten by that monkey?
Or
they had like
it ripped up, and it shredded her face up.
Yeah, it tore her up. I don't know why people want these like exotic animals unless they actually thought they were kittens. But I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I'm not into that. I wouldn't want like a python or anything in my home. Or, some people got that shit, man.
I don't know. Some people they're like dog people. Some people are cat people. I don't like either of them. Like I like animals, but not in my house.
I gotcha. I grew up with animals outside my house, so
so did I. Like we would always have a dog, but it was always outside.
I know.
And I really never cared to have a cat or inside. I just don't like picking up after them. Clean up their shit.
Yeah, don't have kids in.
Yeah, and then the house always smells. I just like I said, I like animals. I like other people's animals. I'll pet them and stuff, but I just don't like taking care of them or them being in my house.
I like animals. I just like when you own them.
It's like kids. Kids are fun.
Yeah,
and they're someone else's
I know.
kids.
I love kids when they're not mine.
Hey kids, how you doing?
Fucking kids are great. When they're not mine, they're fucking great.
Yeah, you play with them a little bit. Hey, it's good. Like I like being the uncle, but I don't like to be.
Sure. Yeah. Exactly. You send them all. You buy them all this fucking candy and everything.
Yeah.
All right, go home to your mom.
Get them all riled up.
I know. After you showed them fucking the first Predator movie, only like 6. All right, go home to your mom.
See you later. Hope he doesn't throw up in bed.
Don't get scared tonight. I don't think it's real, so just go ahead and watch this movie, okay? So what do you got? What's your story?
So I got a story. So there's 2 guys that were in Lake Havasu City, Arizona. So they decided, hey, you know what? We got this car. They want to bet and see how far they can get into Lake Havasu. As they're going in there, they're like, trying to go as far as they can, and the guy's like, well, still haven't got to my length that I suggest that we can make it in. So they get to a certain point, and all of a sudden the car gets flooded. So they're stuck in the lake now. And so they go, and they call the police. The police come down, the sheriff's office, goes down there and tries to get him out. But the idiots, both of them had warrants for their arrests because they had done some other shit like a couple months earlier, I guess, and they got. So when they went down, they pull them out. They find out who they are, and they get busted. Oh, shit. And get arrested.
Did they ever say what the fucking bet was about? Like it was $10
just to see how far they wanted to see how far they can get into how far they can get into the water.
So they sealed their own fate.
Yeah, so it's like, why would you do that? When you have a fucking warrant for your
yeah. How about you lay low?
The cops come and help you out.
Yeah, how about you just fucking lay low, right? You gotta.
I know.
Fucking just take it easy, guy.
Hey man, I think it'd be a good idea if you lay low for a little bit. Nah, fuck that.
No. Let's go out. Let's go fucking shoot this gun in public. Let's go see how many bullets we can get off before anybody says anything. Fuck.
I mean, I've done stupid stuff before, but yeah.
Yeah, you gotta. Yeah, but you gotta think sometimes.
Sometimes you gotta use your brain.
Yeah, just every once in a while, you just gotta kind of think.
I mean,
will this get me in more trouble?
I know.
What could be? It's like playing. Obviously these guys don't play chess because they don't see 3 or 4 steps ahead of them. Do they? Fuck.
They're more checkers players.
Yeah, they're all checker players. So I got this story where this guy in Russia, and he thought he'd be slick. Mm-hmm. And needed to do the robbery, but instead of being like normal people, he decided to paint his face green. So he thought he would not be, he'd be harder to recognize by any witnesses. So spoiler alert, it didn't work. So this guy, he robbed some lady, took her purse, and he took off. But because the way he looked, his face was so green and his hands were like green and stuff like that, that everyone witnessed him. They're like, hey, they called the cops. Called the cop over. A guy who's fucking face painted in green and his hands are green and everything. He stole from her. So all they had to do was go around there and they see him. He's just fucking
looks for a green guy.
Yeah, he fucking sticks out like a sore thumb. It took him so quick to catch him that he hadn't even gotten a chance to even open up the purse, look through any of the contents. She got the purse back in full, everything back in order. The guy didn't have any chance to even just fucking check out his spoils. So because of the green face, it fucking worked against him, and he got caught. So.
Well, I wonder why. What would make you think paint yourself green would make you less obvious in a crowd?
I know.
It's like guy. Yeah, he looked like the Incredible Hulk.
I know exactly. I mean, why can't you use like? He could have done anything. He could have fucking worn a mask. Like, why didn't he wear a mask? Like normal thieves do, I guess. Or even put a sock over his head with holes. He didn't do any of that shit, man. He painted himself green. He got caught because he stuck out like a sore thumb. So, anyway, this 23-year-old, he's being charged with petty theft and is facing jail time. So,
nice. Or did he get a stay green in the jail?
I don't know. I doubt it. I doubt it.
So I got a story. A man named Tyvon Wilson. One morning he was out in front of the Columbus Public Library. The police were called and came down and they called him because he was sitting there. He was outside the library punching a tree.
Punching a tree?
Yeah. So the cops come down. They talk to him. They bandage him up. They tell him it's like.
Yeah, you hurt yourself, guy.
Yeah, you don't punch trees, man. Don't punch trees. So he's like, okay. So later on that day, Tyvon goes to Walmart and he grabs a 55-inch TV from the Walmart store, and he walks out of the store with it.
He just walks out?
Yeah, he just walks out.
What the fuck?
Yeah. So
job security.
Well, that happens. People after he leaves, they just kind of because I guess he just casually walked out, and then somebody realized that it was stolen. So they reported it stolen, but later on that day, the police found Tyvon. He was hanging around the precinct carrying this 55-inch television, and he went there. He went to. He was like in front of the police station, just and he asked them, "Hey, and he went to go tell him that his hand was bleeding if they can wrap it up again." And he had this TV with him, and they're like, "Where did you get this TV?" And he's all like, "Oh, I bought it."
Yeah.
But around that time, also Walmart reported it stolen.
Sure.
So they're like, "Oh, like okay." So they kept asking him, "So where'd you get the television?" And he was like, "Oh, I bought it." And he was like, "Are you sure? Where'd you get it?" And he was like, "Well, somebody gave it to me," and he kept changing the story. Until finally he asked him that, he was like, well, I stole it. Could you? And then he asked him if they would take it to his house for it.
He asked them if they would take it to his house?
Yeah, to take it to his house. So he was like, they're like, no, you're going to jail.
No, game over.
Game over.
Fuck, man. So he thought the cops were his fucking pals, huh?
Yeah, I guess so. Well, they bandaged his hand up.
Yeah, they bandaged him up, right? They cared about him. So they weren't going to say anything if he had a stolen TV. they weren't going to be any wiser to it.
For me.
I wonder what he's going to get. Like, just probably some...
Oh, he just got charged for shoplifting and he's being held like at $1,000 bond.
Jeez.
Oh, he's been ordered by the judge to stay away from the Walmart. So he's been banned from Walmart too, which was the worst thing for him.
Stay away from all arboretums too. No more beating up trees. So I got this weird one in New York. So this kid was just chilling on the street on his phone, hanging out, minding his own business or whatever, and 3 guys, like, they showed them pulled up next to the kid, and they're looking at him, and the kid's he's oblivious to it, right? Because, he's got his face in his fucking phone. Yeah. And then they kind of pull up ahead, behind him, and they jump out, and they jump him. And they beat him up, and they steal his sneakers. So, yeah, they go try and sell them.
Yeah, some Jordans.
Yeah. They go and try and sell the shoes. But they find out that the shoes he has are knockoffs.
Jordays.
Yeah. So these but the shoes he has, they typically cost between $1,500 and $2,000. So that's why they were trying to sell them. But again, they were just knockoffs. So the guy he took it to the Image Sneakers in Northern Boulevard, and the guy there's like, "Fuck, I ain't taking these. This is fucking bullshit." Mm-hmm. So now these 3 kids are wanted. They're on camera, but I guess their whole plan just fucking backfired because they stole some fucking jacked off shoes. So
man, they weren't even real shoes. They were just
knockoffs, man. Like how those all those women have like those Coach bags.
Some of those knockoffs look pretty good.
They did, yeah. These guys thought they were stealing.
Shit, the guys running, they probably couldn't see it very clear.
No. but now they're wanted, right? Because they're on camera beating up this kid, and they tried stealing them, right? Or they stole them, but they tried selling them, and
I can't believe people are still stealing shoes. I remember that was really big when I was
growing up.
School.
I know that
Jordans. I remember that
oh yeah,
when Jordans first came out.
Yeah,
and if somebody saw you with some fucking Jordans, they would fucking jump you for them.
Yeah. Remember Mad Magazine? Remember Dave Berg, The Lighter Side of? Remember to have like those weird things, and I remember there was one where this girl was talking to this guy, and the kid, they're like in high school or something. He's like. And there's a guy looking back at them. He looks kind of mean, and the girl's like, "Why'd you buy these expensive shoes?" She was like, "You're not in track or you're an athlete." And he says, "I need these." He's running off. He's like, "I need these to stay away from the guys who want to rob me." And the guys who's trying to steal them, and that guy's all chasing after him.
It's helped me keep in shape because everyone's chasing me. For
yeah, exactly. It was like the guy was trying to steal the shoes. I was like, "Fuck, man."
Yeah, I didn't think that was still a thing.
Yeah, it must be. I mean, I'm not into sneakers anymore, but I guess, these things are pretty expensive.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't really buy them. I mean, if someone wants to steal my Skechers,
yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. They're not going to steal them, but man, some of these sneakers are get some bucks, man. I don't.
Well, there's people. That's what they do. And they just collect sneakers.
I know, huh? Man.
And they just buy like I don't know, whatever fancy ones that they have and shit.
Yeah, the newest, latest brands, and
they're like collectors.
Man, or they only wear them once or twice.
I never got it. I don't understand why people would want to invest a lot of money in shoes.
I guess if you're just rich and you just need a stupid hobby, right?
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, I don't know. Like I said, you see a lot of women with those like Coach bags and
like all
You know, they need all those
knockoffs,
different
though.
bags. Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? But I mean, I know I've known women around here like, yeah, you got to have all these different bags. I'm like, why? I mean, you know, it's something I don't get because it's not something I want.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, we all have our own things we like. But, man, some of those are
that's
just, you know, right? Some things are just more expensive than others. And I haven't, luckily, I maybe I just couldn't afford it, but I can't afford to have high expensive taste in things like that.
Well, you know, I know how you like KFC stories, so
I love KFC. I love KFC. Don't be doing me wrong with KFC.
Oh man, I know. As soon as I saw this, I was like, you know what? I got to tell Sam about this
Oh.
KFC story.
Tell me.
So
About the wings. I love those wings, man. What do we got?
This guy was driving around a parking lot of a mall. He stopped somewhere, and basically the 21-year-old Alberto, guy has a weird name, Ula Avila, allegedly opened the doors of the passenger seat, got into the car, and demanded to take him anywhere he wanted to go. So, according to the victim, the Avalva physically threatened him to drive where he wanted to take him. So the driver's like, "Where do you want me to go?" And the guy said, "I need to go to a KFC."
Don't even take me. How about we stop there on route to this where his whole thing was, I need to go to KFC.
Yeah. So
you must take me now.
Yeah, the driver's told to drive to KFC. So he drives him to KFC, and then when he gets there, he robs him. I don't know if he goes into KFC. He tries to rob him. The cops kind of saw what was going on. They were there. The cops chased him down and
Oh, they got him.
They finally captured him.
Jeez.
But I don't know why you. It's just funny. He's like,
yeah, why KFC?
I don't know. That must have been like his spot. Maybe you need to get like a.
I understand it's a pleasurable place. I get that there's nothing but goodness that comes out of KFC, so I guess it's not too far-fetched why he would go there.
It's like, I need to get some extra crispy wings, man.
Yeah, no, man, to get those wings. Those wings are good, man. Have you had those?
Yeah.
I thought they were good, man.
I haven't been to KFC in a long time, though.
I go honestly, I like it. I just try to stay away from it, but I like it, and I like those wings, man. Those wings are pretty good. Well, I got one more story because we have to have our Florida event. We have to have our Florida story.
That sounds good.
Yeah, so sorry, Florida, again. We should just have a segment called Florida.
We should
get Florida news.
The Florida segment.
Yeah, here's the Florida segment of the week. So this woman here, she had a problem, big time problem. She called 911 because of it, and she was claiming a medical emergency. But the problem was that she was just thirsty because she was out of beer. So this woman, the 57-year-old Jennifer Sue Roberts, called 911 twice, just after noon and just after 4 p.m., claiming that she had a medical emergency. But she appeared intoxicated when paramedics arrived after the second call. So she was basically calling them because, she just needed more beer. She's just out of beer, man. She's like the Barney Gumble of fucking Florida, I guess. Calling the cops, man. This woman needed beer. So, I think you probably might want to call like Amazon, delivery service if you want beer or something, but don't call the cops.
Oh, that's an emergency. If you run out of beer,
I guess, man,
you need to call 911. That's logical thinking.
That's logic. Yeah, that makes sense. Just like going to KFC when you rob someone. When you want to rob someone, you go to KFC.
As you go to KFC, and then you call 911
when you're out of beer.
So you got your food, your beer,
man,
and you're set to go. Good
to go. So Florida, there's our Florida segment of the week.
You did it again, buddy. You did it again. All right, so we should go into the main topic, which is what's our main topic this week?
So this is basically scary search and rescue stories and having to do with the forest.
Oh, scary stories, scary forest stories.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna do scary forest stories when we get back from the break.
All right.
Okay, and we're back. We're gonna do scary forest stories. What do you got for us that's gonna scare the forest out of us?
So a couple of these are kind of weird. Like, I think I've talked about stuff about, things in the forest. There seems to be like known that news that people like have been gone missing in the forest. Lots of children, lots of just adults as well, whether they're elderly or maybe just middle aged. But a lot of times more kids, and they end up in different spots, places that they were not close to anywhere at all. And there's no rhyme or reason how they're there. And I'm gonna go through a couple of stories where when they find them, it's very odd how they find them and why they're not. The elements haven't messed them up or anything. But this first story was with this a missing kid. So the woman had taken her 3 kids on a picnic, like in the park in a small lake. Her kids were 6, 5, and 3. So she was pretty on them all the time, watching them pretty close, and she never took her eyes off them. She never noticed anyone else in the area either. And they had a picnic out there, and after the picnic, she packs up all the stuff, and it's like, all right, kids, time to head back to the car. So the walk from the parking area to the lake is only 2 miles, and it's on a trail that's very established, right? You don't have to go through, knock down any bushes or anything, or it's pretty well mapped out and big, and it's basically impossible to get lost on unless you just stray off it and go straight into some to the forest. So she had her kids in front of her, and so she could watch them, right? So all 3 were walking. And she hears like a loud noise behind her that kind of freaks her out. So she turns around for about 5 seconds, like, what the fuck was that? And in those 5 seconds, she looks back, and the 5-year-old son is not with the other kids. So she asks the other 2 kids, like, hey, where's your brother?
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, they say that a big man with a scary face came out of the woods next to them and took his hand and led him into the woods.
They didn't say anything?
And she says, and what she said was the kids don't seem upset at all, and they almost seem like they're like groggy and like out of it, like they're almost like they're drugged.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So she freaks out, right? And she starts screaming for her son's name, and she thinks at one point she hears him reply once, but because she has the other 2 small kids with her, she can't just go run into the woods. So she calls the cops, and they call search and rescue. So they search for miles, no traces of the kid at all. Canines get no scent. There's nothing that looks like he had strayed off the trail, and like any of the bushes like are broken or anything like that. It's almost like he just disappeared right there.
Oh shit. So
the volunteers that are helping, they search for weeks, and eventually the search dies down, right? They can't like search forever, unfortunately. So the search and rescue team, they have to move on from the case. But the volunteers keep searching, and one day they get a call that a body has been found and it needs retrieval. The search and rescue do, and the location is 15 miles away from where that kid had disappeared from, and its time has passed. So the search and rescue team think it's a different child, right? They think it's somebody different because it's so far away.
Yeah.
And so when they arrive, it's a kid who had disappeared, that 5-year-old. And the search and rescue team don't know how he got to this location, because the kid's he's at the base of a tall, rocky slope, and halfway up the slope, the body of the boy is stuffed into an opening, like in a rock. And it takes the search and rescue team over an hour to climb up the treacherous terrain and retrieve him with even their climbing gear. So they have no idea how he even made it up there.
Oh shit!
So the kid.
It was that creepy man, probably, huh?
Well, yeah, and the kid doesn't even have a scratch on him, and he's barefoot. There's no sign of animals dragging him up there, and it seems like he's only been dead for like a day or 2, and he'd been missing for over a month. So the coroner determined he died of exposure probably 2 days earlier, and there's never been any suspects or any explanation for this occurrence, like how he got there or who took him. Never. So a lot of stuff that they've talked about. There's a guy named David Paulides who he has a lot of books called Rescue 411. He talks a lot about these stories where the Forest Service, they know that a lot of this stuff is going on, but they don't want to alert anyone because they don't want people to stop coming to the parks. But they know that there's some shit out there, allegedly, right?
Yeah.
So, another weird story where, so another search and rescue story where there was, they were looking for a man who hadn't returned from climbing trip that he was supposed to, come back from. So the search and rescue guys were buddied up because like the area they were at, there was a lot of like bears. So, travel in a pack of two. Mm-hmm. So they hiked to where they thought the guy should be at, which was a difficult spot to get to. And they found him in a small crevice with a broken leg. And he'd been there for almost 2 days, and his leg was just all fucked up. It was all infected. So they were able to call a chopper, and I guess the EMT got his story. So what he told the EMT was that he was doing fine on his hike, and he got to the top of the mountain. But when he got to the top, there was a man standing there with no climbing equipment, because it took like climbing equipment to get up to the spot. It wasn't just like a normal, like just a pathway. You had to climb up with like rope and hammer and stuff. And so the guy had no equipment at all, but he was just wearing a parka and ski pants. So he walked up to the guy. The guy had his back turned towards him. But he walked up to the guy, and the guy turned around, and he had like no face. He was just like blank, like an oval, like an egg.
Oh wow! So like from the back, he looked like a normal person.
Normal guy, yeah, standing just looking out like at the old wilderness. And when he walked up to him, the guy turned around. His face was just like an egg, like nothing, no features at all.
Oh shit, that's creepy.
Yeah, and he freaked out, right? He got like, oh shit, and he tried going down the mountain too fast, which is why he fell, and he landed into that crevice and was fucked up. And he said the worst part of it though was when he was stuck in that crevice, he could hear that guy all night climbing down the mountain and letting out some of the most horrible muffled screams that he'd ever heard.
How did he scream if he didn't have a mouth?
It was like I don't know, but it was muffled. He said. he said he could hear like some screams.
Oh really?
Like maybe he did have a mouth, but that whatever was on him was keeping him from.
Like he was trying to scream, like he was.
Yeah. Yeah. And another.
So he never saw. So that thing never came down, or
it never came to him.
But you could hear it like around.
He could hear it. Yeah, he could hear it around at night. The whole night he could hear it like screaming, like almost like an agony or something, like or whatever, maybe in pain.
Like I don't have a face.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So there was a case where a ranger. This is another case where a ranger was told that there was like a mountain lion sighted near a popular, heavily used trail. Mm-hmm. So part of his job was to verify, like, if there's any lions around, and if there are, get the path closed. You don't want people to stray into the lions, right? So he was alone, and he was in a very heavily forested area of the park, and it was like near dusk. And what he heard what sounded like a woman screaming in the distance. Mm-hmm. So I don't go hiking. I don't know much about these, but I guess mountain lions, when they scream, it does sound like a woman being like brutally murdered, and it's kind of unsettling. And it's common. That's how they sound, I guess. So he lets this be known. So he's not freaked out. He's not thinking a woman's in trouble or anything. He's thinking, all right, I hear the mountain lion. So he called back to the operations site and he let them know that he heard the lion. Like, yeah, there is a lion out here. I hear it. I'm gonna keep checking around here, scouting the area, and verify, its territory. So he hears the mountain lion scream a few more times from the same place. So he was able to approximate where the territory was. So he was about to head back to his operations center when he heard another scream, but it was only a few yards from him this time. It wasn't like where he had been hearing it. This time it was like really close to him. So he freaked out and he's like, oh man, I gotta get back. This thing's getting close to me. I'm not gonna take on no mountain lion. So he made his way back to the path and he kept heading back. And the screaming kept following him. So he started to jog. So when he was about a mile away from his operations center, the screaming stopped. So he turned around to see if the mountain lion was still on his trail. But by this time it was almost dark and he could see in the distance that there was a figure of a man. So he called out to the man saying, hey man, warning him, there's a mountain down around this area. Get out of here. Come back to the operations center. Head back towards safety. But the figure just stood there. So he started to walk over to the figure. Like, hey guy, come with me. And as he got closer, he got about 10 yards away. What he said was like the figure took like an impossibly long step towards him and let out a scream that he had been hearing the whole time.
Oh, so it was that thing, huh?
It was that thing was chasing him that was making the noise, and he said he just fucking turned around and ran back.
Nope.
Yeah. No, my brother.
Not today, sir.
Yeah. And when he got back, he made it back to operations, but he never told him what he saw. He just said, "Yeah, there's a mountain lion out there. Close the fucking road. Close the path.
road.
Close the path, man."
We're done.
But he didn't tell him what he saw, right? Because I guess there's a lot of things out there that are seeing out those areas that a lot of people, they can't really admit or talk about. It's like I said, it's like taboo, and they don't want to scare the general public. Right, because it's a lot of money for people to come and go to these, forests and spend money, buy the passes. So, he didn't want to say anything to anybody, and then he might sound crazy.
Well,
but,
yeah, I mean, you don't want to say shit like that because people will think that you've
like what the
gone
fuck are you
insane
talking
and just,
about?
not taking your medications.
Yeah, and then if you work with a bunch of guys, if you see something, if we work together and we all go off on our own path. You see something one day, I see something another day. There's a good chance we're not going to talk about it. We'd have to probably get drunk before we start telling each other what's going on, what we've seen, right? Because you don't want to, you don't want to bring that up. You're going to feel a little modest about it and think that they're going to, judge you. So another story was, there was a guy that was allegedly he was deer hunting, and he camped in a remote area. Well, he woke up because there was like some scraping against his tent. And he thought it was just like some sort of critter, that was kind of like just, sniffing around and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But he got freaked out as whatever it was pressed its face up against the tent door. And he could make out like the nose and mouth. So he kicked at it. And it jumped. Yeah. He kicked at it and it jumped back. And it was gone by the time he got out of the tent.
Mm-hmm.
But he had his gun with him. And he didn't know what it was. So he fired 2 warning shots up in the air. And just waited. So once the warning shots, the echoes faded and everything, he heard like a twig snap behind him. So he turned around, and at the edge of his camp, there was like a man who wasn't wearing any clothes, but he didn't have like any human flesh either.
What,
so he was like
it was all muscle.
So he was vaguely the shape of man, but he was like an amalgamation of raw meat and hair.
Ooh.
Yeah, and his face was lumpy, and he only had a rough approximation of where the human face was.
Mm-hmm.
And it opened its lopsided mouth, and from it came the sound of his gun the hunter had fired, and it made like the noise twice of like the gun shooting.
Like mimicking it?
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
And it mimicked the sound of the tent zipper opening up, and then it just fucking took off. It fled into the forest.
Oh, shit. Did he chase after it, or?
No.
He's like,
No, he's not. I mean, you see something that looks like that, like...
I would at least have try to shoot it. If it's because he's got his gun.
I think he was a little like freaked out. He's seen a bunch of like fucking flesh and pieces of meat like put together like Play-Doh.
Yeah, he was probably more in shock.
I would think
like
so.
If I saw somebody like that, I would think it would be like somebody who has been injured. Like I'd be like, oh, hey man, you okay? Or
yeah. But then it opens its mouth and it mimics your sounds you did. I mean,
at that point, I would have shot it.
I know you'd be like, "What the fuck is this?
Something's wrong with you, sir.
Yeah,
You need to be taken down.
Yeah, I'm gonna help you by shooting you. That's what I'm gonna do.
Put you out of your misery.
Yeah, you're gonna thank me for this. Trust me." Again, sticking with the weirdness of the forest. So a woman gets separated from a hiking group, and the dog picks up her scent as they were out, searching super late at night.
Mm-hmm.
So the search and rescue found her curled up under a large rotted log, and she was missing her shoes and her backpack. So she was in shock, but she had no injuries. So on the way walking back to the base, she kept turning around and asking the search and rescue guy, that big man with black eyes was following us. And whenever they looked back, they couldn't see anything. So they just figured she was in shock, and they just like, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
So the closer they got to the base, she got more agitated and kept telling the rescue guy that the man with black eyes, to tell the man in black eyes to stop making faces at her.
Oh, so she's seeing the guy there.
She's seen it, yeah. And whenever they look back, there's like nothing there. And so she eventually gets fed up, turns around and starts yelling at him, letting him know that she wasn't going with them nor was she going to give the rescue team to him. So it's like he was telling her, either you come with me or you give those guys to me. And she turns around and starts yelling at like dead air, just air.
Mm-hmm.
And they eventually got her to keep moving. They started hearing noises all around them, and the noises sounded like a rhythmic cough.
Mm-hmm.
It was really like indescribable, but it was like just a cough that just kept going on all around them.
Mm-hmm.
So when the base was in sight, the woman turns to the search and rescue guy, and her eyes are like super big, super wide, like bigger than the guy says, like bigger than he could ever imagine a human eyes getting. And she touches his shoulder and he says to tell you to speed up. He doesn't like looking at the scar on your neck. And the guy's like, I have a small scar on the base of my neck that's not visible because I'm wearing a collared shirt.
Mm-hmm.
So then he starts freaking out, like he doesn't know how she knows that he has that.
Yeah.
She can't see that. So right after she says it, he hears the word coughing, and it's like right next to his ear, as if somebody's standing right next to him. And it just fucking, and he just jumps out of his skin, like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And he said he just fucking hustled her back, like he made her run back. And he just dropped her off. He's like, I'm out. He's like, I'm not doing this area anymore. But again, I don't know what there's no explanation. Who knows what she was seeing,
Mm-hmm.
I think the weird thing was, like he said, the scar on his neck, like there's no way he's saying that she could have seen that. So
Yeah,
that's what scared him.
Yeah, it's just a detail that most people don't know. And
yeah, exactly. And he's like, yeah, I have the scar, I just don't know how she saw it.
well, just having somebody like come up to my ear, and just cough or
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
That
there's no it's just, but there's nothing there. I mean, that's freaking freaky, I think. So I got one more story about another missing kid. So this kid had been berry picking in an area close to the entrance of the park with his family. It was mom and dad and two kids. Both kids were under 5, and they were and during the picking, one of the kids vanishes. So a massive search ensues, right? There's no trace of the kid even being there. Gone. Dogs don't pick up a scent. They just sit there. Like, they don't even go after anything. No clothing or items of him are ever found. The search goes on for 2 months, and then it's called off. 6 months later, the family comes back to place flowers at a memorial that's been set up for the other child that disappeared.
Mm-hmm. Was it where he was lost at, or?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, around where they were picking berries, right?
Oh, okay.
So while placing the flowers, they lose sight of the other kid for like 3 seconds, and then he vanishes.
Oh shit!
And the parents are fucking devastated, distraught, just horrifically.
Mm-hmm.
Like, fuck.
We're terrible parents.
Yeah.
We can't even take care of our kids.
But they look away for like 3 seconds. I mean, they're not even looking away for like a minute or anything. So, the search this time is one of the largest in the state history. About 300 volunteers, helping search.
Mm-hmm.
And even volunteers are searching miles away from where the child vanished from, just totally expanding the search area. About 2 weeks later, a volunteer radios in 15 miles away saying that he found the kid alive. So when they get there, they're surprised how impeccably clean this kid is. His clothes are clean. There's no dirt on him anywhere. Mm-hmm. He's not even traumatized. So the volunteer said he found the kid sitting on a log playing with a little twig bundle that was bound together by like some old rope. Mm-hmm. And they ask him where he's been and who he's been with for the last 2 weeks. And the kid says that he's been with the Fuzzy Man. So the search and rescue person that's talking about this, she thinks it's a Bigfoot. He's talking about Bigfoot.
Mm-hmm.
So, and she's a fan of Bigfoot. So she's like, asking the kid, hey, was he all hairy?
Mm-hmm.
Like, she wants details. And the kid says, no, he wasn't hairy. He was just blurry, like when you close your eyes, but not all the way closed. And he says, the little boy says, the man came out of the trees and took him deep into the woods, and he would sleep in a hollow tree, and the Fuzzy Man gave him berries to eat whenever he was hungry. So they ask if the Fuzzy Man was mean or scary to the kid, and the kid says, no, he wasn't scary, but I didn't like how he didn't have eyes, is what his quote was.
Ugh.
So she finds out, the search and rescue lady finds out that after the kid talks to the police, the cop tells her, because she's friends with the cop, that the kid described being kept in a tree by the Fuzzy Man. He was given berries whenever he was hungry, and he was allowed to wander around in a specific area. But when he tried to go further than the area, the fuzzy man would get really mad and yell really loud. But the little boy didn't understand how he did it because he didn't have a mouth. So when the kid got scared at night, the fuzzy man made it. This is the kid's quote. The fuzzy man would made it go brighter and give him a twig bundle to play with. So he said the fuzzy man was going to keep him, but he had to let him go because the kid wasn't the right kind.
The right kind.
Yeah, and the little boy wouldn't elaborate on that, whatever that meant.
Mm-hmm.
So the search for the first kid, is renewed again.
Mm-hmm.
But the boy that was found says he doesn't know where his brother is, and the brother is never found.
Oh, I was when he said that, when he first said that, I thought he was gonna say like he was with his brother, or
No.
like he found his brother and then like he lost him or something, or his brother was like ghost was helping him.
No, it was some creature, something was
fuzzy man.
Yeah,
that sounds almost alien.
I know, but the right kind of what? Using them for what? I don't know. I know that's a good question, and that's what the cops were like in search and rescue. Like, right kind of what? Like what? Slave? What? I mean, I don't know. It's horrible to think about. If one of the kids is taken,
so
they're never going to see him again.
If some like another one of those things has taken his brother and he was the right
Must
kind?
have. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so he got kept. But like I said, a lot of these some of these kids that I was reading about, they are found. Like that first kid, but he was found dead, right? Because nobody found him. Whoever the fuzzy man was just left him there. Like, hey, I'm done with you. Like I can't. You're not the right kind, so off you go. And the kids are in the middle of nowhere, right? And so they don't know how to fend for themselves. They're 3, 4, 5 years old, right? They don't know what to do. And if it's cold or anything, they're just gonna die.
So I wonder if like a lot of these experiences that people have, if it's like the same creature.
I don't know.
In just like different forms, or because like I don't. The fuzzy man is kind of I like. That's kind of interesting because he's kind of just blurry.
Yeah.
And he like
no eyes,
takes
no
kids,
mouth.
or takes people away.
Mm-hmm. But we've never really heard anything like that. I've never heard of that term before for a cryptozoology type creature or anything.
Yeah, because I was thinking like it was gonna be Sasquatch too.
Yeah, and that's what the lady thought.
Yeah,
that's what, and she was like, "Oh God, cool, Sasquatch does exist." But it's like, no, it wasn't hairy at all. But again, what was that meat guy that was all fucking meat pieces? He's like a fucking human hot dog.
Human hot dog.
he was just all pieces, pieces of meat, and then the ones with no faces, but they were mimicking noises.
Yeah.
What the fuck is that? What?
Yeah, that's pretty creepy.
I mean, and then they're getting chased by them. I mean, I can go on, if people like this. I can go on like another show and talk more, because there's also things about stories about stairs out in the woods in the forest.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the rangers come up on them, and they're told not to ever talk about them or not to discuss anything about them, not even to touch them, go on them, anything. Leave them alone. But I found some stories where guys talked about going up them, what happened to some people.
Mm-hmm.
I'd have to do another show about it, because there's a lot to it.
Yeah, that's probably gonna have to be another show, because we're getting pretty much to the end here.
Yeah. So, but it's very interesting, and like I said, the woods, man, fuck the woods.
The woods are just creepy in general. Like even though there's nothing out there, just like everything out there could kill you. Just the elements alone.
I know, man. Fuck. And then you got these fucking weird ass creatures out there that are mimicking you.
Shit. There's a lot of space that people only aren't around. It's like. Yeah. Miles and miles of just trees and whatever the fuck's in there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's a lot of territory that hasn't been, encountered. I mean, you've even heard about the people like in like Brazil, or different like tribes. Like they found tribes that have never seen or talked to civilization.
Yeah, they don't know anything about
They don't know anything about the outside world of what they live in. Yeah, what their world is that's it. It's their world, and there's nothing else beyond it. There's something to be said about that, but again, there's also like places around that are just scary like that.
Yeah, you don't know what's out there, so stay home.
Yeah.
Don't leave your house.
Stay in your room. Lock it up. Don't fucking go to work.
Don't
do anything.
Just don't look under the bed either.
Yeah. Stay home and watch Predator 1.
There you go.
All right, so I think we're out of time on this one.
Yep, it's time to go.
Well, I hope everyone has a good day, evening, and night, and we'll miss you.
We'll see you guys next week, so stay strange.
Episode 30 in the books.
All right, bye.
Bye-bye.
If you enjoy the show, please go to iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, or wherever you're listening, and please give us a good rating. If you want to share a story or have ideas for a future episode, you're welcome to visit us at www.thestrangepodcast.com. We look forward to hearing from you.